Hey there. If you are interested in how your fears are fueling your anxiety, then you've come to the right place. Stay tuned. My name is Cai Graham. I am a parenting specialist and I am author of the Teen Toolbox. I also have a free app that you can download, caigraham.com/app. I am here to support parents and their teenagers, but parents predominantly, so that they can support their kids, and so that together we can build a mentally healthier and happier generation of young people. So anxiety is a big one. So I do that through my book, through my app, through my coaching programs and my online courses, one of which, caigraham.com/anxiety, will help you with just that. The anxiety course helps parents support their kids, gets a better understanding of anxiety, and equips you with tools, A, to support, and B, to manage anxiety. Because what you might realise is that I don't believe we should banish anxiety altogether. But I discussed that in episode 1 of this series, so please go back and have a look. Today we're talking about how your fears fuel your anxiety. And actually, the time that this is going out is the time, roughly, give or take, is close to, in the UK, A-levels and GCSEs coming out and exam results. And many kids have that fear of disappointment, of being judged, of failure, of uncertainty, a lot of which is, and gosh, I sign up to that camp wholeheartedly. Exams have not been kind to me, in the early part of my years anyway. So I get it. I know what it's like, because you open that envelope, you're sort of hoping against hope that everything, your hard work comes to fruition, and the grades and your results don't depict that. And it might be because you didn't work, or it might be because, for a number of reasons, many reasons. Mine was a sort of conglomerate of excuses. And so I know what it's like when you basically feel as though the bottom's fallen out of your world, and it is scary. So let's address these things, because in all fairness, these failures and our fears can, if we give too much credence to them, and if we pay too much attention to them and focus on them too much, these fears, and when we're adding fuel to these fears, we start rewiring our brain. It really is as simple as that. So we start wiring for fear of failure, wiring for fear of disappointment, wiring for fear of uncertainty. So we need to really deal with that before it gets out of control. Just let me take a slurp. So the very fact that something like your fears of failure and disappointment, especially when exam results are coming out, it is a bit like trauma. Trauma has a massive impact on us, on our brains, on our bodies, on our minds, emotionally, physically, spiritually. It really impacts us. And so do our fears if we let them get out of control. So what do we do? Well, this fear cycle, this anxiety cycle, and the very fact that I'm drawing circles in the air and talking about a cycle, it is just a cycle. It is just that, and there are 5 stages to it. The first stage is the event, be it the exam results, be it a letter, be it a comment from someone, but whatever it is. It could be bereavement, whatever, all these things. Life throws events at us the whole time, throws curveballs at us, and we need to deal with it. So the event is the first thing that happens. The next thing that happens is our thoughts. We start thinking about it. And the thing is that if we're feeling vulnerable, if we're feeling a bit wobbly, if we're not sort of firing on all cylinders, these thoughts are invariably negative. I'm not good enough, it was my fault, oh, why could I be so stupid, if only I'd done that, what's everyone going to think of me, all those things. And then what happens, that stage 2 is your thoughts. The third stage is your feelings, because your feelings start kicking in now. It's going, oh yeah, well, what are people going to think? Oh my God, and it's all my fault. And then the shame and the guilt and the worry and the anger at yourself or at other people, and all this spirals, it starts spiraling. And if we allow this to get out of control, then it starts, as I said, rewiring our brain. And what happens is when we start feeling bad, our brain, and in the previous 2 episodes I've been talking about the limbic system and the reptilian sort of part of the brain, our feelings sort of react to our thoughts, and so therefore they start building and they start snowballing, and therefore what starts happening is it's impacting on our brain, so on our body, sorry. So we start getting the physical symptoms as well. Oh my God, no, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm rubbish, and oh, well, I shouldn't have done that, and well, why would anyone sort of want to like me, and I'm not lovable, and I'm not enough, and I'm not good enough, and I'm a failure, and what's the point, and I may as well just go, and whatever it is. And so this has an effect physically on us as well, and we start seeing the symptoms of insomnia, of sort of hyperventilating, of feeling nauseous, of shaking, of sweating, blood pressure pumping, and it just gets into that mindless cycle. And what we then do is go, rightly so, because our body's trying to protect us, we go, right, I've had enough of this, I'm going to steer clear of that. And if we use the example of exams, oh well, because usually what happens, exams come out and there's always a party, on exam night, and suddenly sort of kids start go, the ones that feel that they haven't done so well, oh no, I can't possibly go out, I don't want to face anyone, I don't want anyone to talk to me, I don't want to have to explain myself, I don't want the pity from anyone, I don't want to watch everyone else celebrate, I'm not good enough, I'm thick, I'm hopeless, I'm rubbish. And so we start avoiding these things, and then what the brain goes is, yeah, you see, I kept you safe, so I'm going to do that again next time. And it might not be exam results this time, but it could be you weren't picked for the team, or it could be that you didn't get an interview, or it could be that your mum and dad are driving you mad, or whatever it is, and your brain is going, now listen, hang on a minute, don't you remember the last time you felt crap, I made you stay in and you didn't get hurt by anyone. And so what happens is that by avoiding, we are fueling the flames of that. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to push away those fears and anxieties. And we're pushing away that fear of failure. We're pushing away that fear of disappointment. We're pushing away that fear of being judged. And so we are trying to avoid that situation, which ain't any good for anyone. And what we're really doing is going la 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 la, because we don't want to put ourselves in that situation, in that fearful situation of failure. If we don't want to put ourselves in that situation of being judged. We don't want to feel as though we are a disappointment. And so we push those feelings away. And what we don't realise is that the brain is a problem-solving organism or organ. And what the brain wants to do, we are problem-solving beings, and what we need to do is we need to process stuff. And if we're la 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 la, if we're doing this all the time, la la la, don't want to hear, don't want to hear, don't want to hear, every time that situation comes back, we go no 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 no, avoid 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 avoid, and what happens is it gets bigger. because our brain is going, you've got to deal with this. No, don't want to. No, not interested. And it could be an embarrassing situation. It could be an example like you asked someone out on a date and they said no, or you got dumped by text, or someone dissed you and you were standing on stage and someone heckled and said, you're rubbish, get off. Whatever it is, and your brain is programmed to protect you, and it goes, don't do that again ever, because otherwise you'll feel rubbish again. And you go, oh yeah, I'm going to avoid that. And so your brain reminds you, don't do that, because otherwise you'll feel like this. And what we need to do is process that. And we need to face those fears. I've got a blog post on it, but I'm going to explain and give you an exercise how to cope with it. How to face those fears, because it's a bit like riding the crest of the wave. You know, if you're permanently out to sea, you don't get to shore. You are just bobbing away and you're powerless to get back. But what you need to do is you need to ride that crest of the wave. And what happens is that you get onto the top of that wave, and that's the emotion, that's the fear that you need to cope with. And then once it's crashing down, it takes you to shore, and it's all calm again. And it's okay. And you're on dry land. And actually it wasn't as scary as you thought it was going to be. And you've processed it. So next time you think about it, okay, you might still feel a bit uneasy, but there's none of that la 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 la. Does that make sense? So first of all, we need to acknowledge how we feel. And that's so important. And it's scary. We need to acknowledge how we feel and just sit with it. Are you feeling embarrassed? Are you feeling upset? Are you feeling, oh God, yeah, and you get the butterflies and you just ride that wave. Yeah. This is rubbish. Now, sometimes it depends. It depends how huge your issue is. I mean, if it's mighty, if it's traumatic, then you need to seek professional help. But if you're just putting your head in the sand and you don't need to, then you've got to face your fears and do it anyway. I'm going to show you how to do that. But it's a matter of validating how you feel and go, yep, I'm feeling rubbish. And maybe it's because I didn't do this, and maybe it is my fault, and maybe someone let me down, or whatever it is. Just work out and ride that wave. And it might make you feel uncomfortable. Whenever I feel uncomfortable, the back of my knees go and say, oh God, seriously? But you know what? Once you process that, you might have to do it a couple of times. Once you process that, it's not the end of the world. The sky hasn't fallen in. And when you were feeling abandoned and out at sea, when you just come in and bob that wave and just ride that series of emotions, validate what you're feeling, acknowledge what you're feeling, and then it'll all come crashing out, and it might be a mess, and you might come into shore all topsy-turvy the first couple of times. But you're on the path to processing this, so that you're saying to your limbic and reptilian brain, no, it's all right. You are protecting me, and you are trying to say that I've got to stay in and I've got to do, but I don't have to. I am uncomfortable and I did muck up or whatever, but I'm all right with this. It's okay. The sky won't fall in. I'm just going to have to put my big girl pants on or my big boy pants on and get on with it. So it is. The thing is if you don't acknowledge your feelings, our brain needs to process it. And if you don't acknowledge those feelings, your brain is still going to come back and it's going to make this thing, whatever it is, bigger. Because it needs you to do something about it. And the more you hide away and the more you the harder it's going to be. So have a think. Here's the exercise. Let me just run you through it. If you've got something that you know, right, okay, and it could be A-level results. Come on, let's use those as an example. I want you to sit down, sit in your room, or, you know, and you might have had grief, and it was it justified? I don't know. You only you'll know. Maybe, you know, maybe you will have had an understanding parent. Maybe you won't. Maybe they're fully justified to read the riot act. But I tell you what, what's done is done. So the first thing to do is sit in a quiet place, maybe just you. If you want to journal it, great. Journal stuff out. I tell you why. Because the amygdala hates it, because that's a part of unpacking what's going on. And it's a part of going, right, okay, I'm going to grasp the nettle and I'm going to take control here. And the amygdala's not terribly keen on that, because it goes, oh, hang on a minute. No, I meant to keep you safe, and I'm meant to just, you know, keep you avoiding all these situations, love. And so it sort of might make you feel a bit uncomfortable, but that's okay. That's part of the process. So I want you to sit and relax. Do a breathing exercise. In the first episode on this series, it's in the playlist, I showed you box breathing. Go and do that. And you will be feeling, if you know, I'm sure it's natural to feel a bit on edge about this, okay? But find the top 3 words that you're feeling about this situation. I don't know, it could be divorce, it could be separation, it could be bereavement, it could be A-level results, it could be being bullied, it could, whatever it is, making a fool of yourself in class, whatever your situation is that is causing you that fear, which is causing you that anxiety, that is what you need to deal with. So write down the 3 big negatives, the negative feelings and the negative thoughts. And on each one, on each feeling and each thought, I want you to write your 3 negatives. So it could be, well, I'm feeling shame, I'm feeling guilty, I'm feeling upset. It could be angry, I don't know, you'll know. And for each thought, it could be, I failed, I'm going to be judged, I'm a crap person, I should have listened to my mum and dad. Believe it or not, our teacher taught us the wrong part of the syllabus in my A-level. Or was it incomplete? I can't remember, it was so long ago. But I know that all of us went into the exam and we came out and we're going, not really sure about that. And so it could be anger. Whatever it is, find your top 3. And this is what I want you to do. It's F-E-A-R. Once you've found that emotion, I want you to flip it. So I've asked you to find the negative emotions and I want you to flip them to be more positive. So it might be, you know, it could be, what are you feeling about sort of shame? Well, you know, okay. And you might have to dig deep. Well, okay, I'm pretty proud I actually sat each paper. Or it could be I'm relieved it's over and now I know what I've got to deal with. Or, okay, well, I failed to get into that uni, but I'm sure I can go through clearing and go somewhere else, you know, so I could succeed elsewhere. So it's flipping all that, you know, I can't go out and speak to my mates because I'm rubbish. Well, actually, hang on a minute, if they're your mates, they might just be there to look after you and support you, because there'll be other people. Not everyone is a wild success. So there'll be other people there that probably need your support and you need theirs. Or, you know, you've just come off stage and you're feeling, well, that was a disaster. Well, congratulate yourself for doing it, because the whole audience were sitting there and they weren't able to get up on stage. So do you know what I'm trying to, can you see what I'm trying to do? Oh, well, I've failed my exams, I'm a failure, I'm a disaster, and I've shut all the doors on my opportunities. What? Every opportunity? Really? I needed to I can't even remember the grades I needed to read maths at St Andrews. All that time ago. I can't remember, 1986, shows how old I am. I needed to I missed the grades, and I felt crap, and I felt awful, and I just suddenly realised, oh, whoa, I can't stand exams, and I'll blame everyone, and then I suddenly realised, actually, okay, well, what am I going to do about this? Well, and so I started flipping it. And what happened was, I ended up going to Bristol Poly. In those days, there were still polytechnics. They're now, it's now the University of the Southwest of England or something. But I met the love of my life in Freshers Week. And I'm still married to him. And this September I will be married to him 30 years. So do you know what? The bottom fell out of my world when I got my A-level results. But in a funny way, a whole new opportunity opened up. Do you get what I mean? So one door closes and another door will always open. So the point is that when you're going through these fears, F-E-A-R, I want you to flip it. Flip that negativity into something positive. And you might not see the positives yet. I get it. I totally get it. But the point is that there are positives out there. The world is not going to stop turning just because something bad's happened to you. It's going to keep going. And so it's really how you deal with it. So after you flipped it, I want you to envision how the positives are going to turn out. F, flip. E, envision. A and R are next. So I want you to envision. It's all about visualization. And anyone that sort of is into law of attraction and goal setting and stuff. I mean, I've got a vision board behind me, for goodness sake. And that is how I am mapping out my future. So I want you to envision your future with your new flips. Do you know what I mean? And it could be, okay, well, I'm not going to that university, but I'm going to go to another one. Or hang on a minute, never wanted to go to university anyway, so I'm going to go and do an apprenticeship. Or it could be, do you know what? She just dumped me. Her loss. I'm just going to go and find someone else. Or it could be, I've just had, the Open's on as I'm recording this. And Rory McIlroy has not made the cut. Well, was it a disappointment? Yes. Will the sky cave in? No. Yeah, we have to pick up and move on. And how he flips that, time will tell. I can tell you he'll come out with all guns blazing, because that's the way he is, because he is a winner, because he does not dwell. I mean, I think we're all allowed to dwell on feeling crap for a while. That's allowed. Just not for too long. So I want you to, having flipped that stuff, I want you to envision a better future and keep doing that. Keep doing that so that you can visualize your future. If you want to do a vision board, do a vision board. I'm looking at mine here. It's got lovely stuff on it. And so just visualize how you want your future to be and start putting pegs in the sand so that you've got something to aim for. And share that. Share it with yourself, share it in your journal, but share it with others and go, yeah, well, do you know what? That didn't go so well, but I'm going to try this. A, F-E-A, is advance. It's the opposite to avoid. We were talking about avoiding because that's what your brain wants you to do. It wants to keep you safe. So go, don't do that again. Don't do that again. Just stay safe and just feel sorry for yourself and sit in your room. And do nothing and scroll through Instagram for 3 hours. Well, that's fine, but it's not going to get you anywhere. What we need to do is address what's going on. A, advance. Or A, act as if. Just keep on moving forward. Act as if you pass those exams. Act as if your true love is just around the corner. Act as if you're just about to win the Open. Act as if you are just whatever you want. Act as if you came off stage to a standing ovation, because that's what will happen next time. Because the whole point is what you need to do is take the learnings away from this failure. It's only a failure if you don't take the learnings. Otherwise, I call it feedback. Okay, not so great at exams. Or, okay, well, she wasn't my type. Or, all right, okay, well, I should have prepared better for that audience. Or whatever it is. There's always a positive. I keep on saying, it makes me laugh. One guy was chatting to me, and he was moaning because he said, oh God, I'm having root canal and it's really sore, and my teeth are so bad. And I turned around and said, at least you got teeth, love. We have to, and it's a matter of finding the positives and working with them. So yes, you're allowed to feel rubbish, but not for too long. And I want you to act as if, and yes, start off slowly, take baby steps. And if we're talking about exams, just go out with your mates, and just gently, just get back into the real world again. Yes, we come out battered and bruised, and yes, we feel a bit wobbly. That's allowed. Success is the flip side to failure, and we can't have one without the other. So yes, a door might have closed, but I tell you what, and I know for sure that another door will be opening for you if it hasn't already done so. And that's what we need to do with our fears, to acknowledge them and to address them so you can move forward. And R is relax. Because by relaxing into it and by doing that, FEAR, flip, envision, I've said advance, but it could be act as if. And then R for relax. You are moving forward. You are preparing fresh ground for new things. You are building your resilience, because we all fail. We all get knocked down. Let's not say fail, because I said there's no such thing as failure. It's only feedback. We all have blocks in the road. We all get curveballs from life. That is what life's all about. But how we react to them, and avoiding the anxiety and going, okay, let's just dust myself down and let's work with this. Let's flip it, let's envision, let's act as if, and let's relax, and let's just move it forward. Because that, my friend, is how you make a success of things, even when you feel down. Remember, you don't have to be out at sea the whole time. Just ride that wave, and you will come into shore. And you could come into the shore on your surfboard like that, or you could come into shore with sand up your nose. It doesn't matter, but you've made it. And if you like that, please, there's my anxiety course, caigraham.com/anxiety, because that helps you with an exercise that will help you deal with all this as well, and it helps parents support, or anyone support their loved ones with anxiety. So go and get that. And if you like this, there's more in this series. So subscribe, press the notification bell, because that way you'll be notified every time I go live, which is every Tuesday with Team Toolbox Tuesday, and I'm doing Toolbox Takeaways, which is a 10-minute tool on how to cope with curveballs that life throws at you. Any comments, please leave them below, because I'd love to hear from you, and I will answer every comment. So much love, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.